How's it going, folks? We are back for another movie talk episode, but guess what? No more Mike on these episodes.
Now you got to deal with me, the douchebag.
As I said in the last episode, Mike, he's just not up for doing it anymore, and so I found a replacement, and it was the first guy I could think of, Drew. Welcome him to the movie podcast.
I'll do the best I can, everybody.
And we decided to pick up where we left off with Mike, so this will be the Christmas episode, even though we're, weeks late or whatever. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
Nothing matters.
So, we'll be talking about Scrooged and Batman Returns today on the episode.
Scrooge Returns.
Yeah, Scrooge Returns. That was our best thing for the box today. Anyways. I guess we'll kick into this. We'll do a snapshot or something. And we'll figure out what to do for the snapshot. Batman.
Catwoman.
Dun, dun. What we like to do before we jumping into the movies is talk about any other movies we watched in the past few weeks or so. Have you seen anything else?
I haven't really been watching a lot of movies. I've been watching I know you don't like anime, but I've been watching like series and anime, and I've been watching one that my brother and my cousin have been telling me to watch for fucking like a year, and I finally started watching it, and I really liked it. It's what's it called? It's called Made in Abyss, and it's a totally different story than anything I've ever watched. So the premise is kind of like human civilization, like as we know it, has ended, and so the remnants of humanity are basically gathered around this giant cave that goes, like 20 miles into the earth. So it's like this massive cave that they call the Abyss. And so most people only delve down to the first layer of the cave because that's the only part of it that's really safe for like new cave raiders. Mm-hmm. But the farther you go down, there's actually a curse in the cave, and it starts to affect you like physically, and the deeper you go down, the worse the curse gets, which is why most people fear like going deeper into the cave. So most people don't traverse it because it just gets more and more dangerous. And it's
interesting.
So the main characters are a girl looking for her mother who traversed the entire cave but can't return because of the curse. So she's like basically trapped at the bottom of it. And then her friend is this like kind of like half robot kid. It's a really good story, and each like layer of the cave is totally different. Like one's like a giant jungle. Another is like this giant ocean. Like it's wild. I've never really seen a story like it, so it was really engaging. And it just gets darker and crazier the farther you go down in the cave.
That sounds interesting, man.
Yeah, and that's what I've kind of been watching lately. I mean, aside from for the holiday seasons, I watched a fuck ton of Christmas movies and shit, like Christmas Vacation. I think
classic.
I like it, but I kind of got forced to watch it like 3 times because I had to go to like 3 different families. So the first time I was like, hell yeah, I love this movie. And by the 3rd time I was like, I'm tired of seeing this movie.
I think the last time I watched it, like the part that made me laugh the most was when the fucking turkey opens up.
Oh yeah, and it's like gray and nasty. Yeah. You know what, dude? I will say on Christmas, I did watch a movie I hadn't seen because it was like overhyped, and I thought it was just going to be like another dumb like ensemble comedy, but it was Tag, and it was actually really funny.
Oh, really?
I was surprised, yeah, because I thought it was going to be stupid. And I actually...
That's the one where the guys are all there in like that super long game of tag or whatever.
Yep.
And it, over so many years or whatever.
Yeah, and it seems like something that would be really stupid, but it was actually really funny and pretty well done.
Interesting.
And it's funny because it's based on a true story. And so at the end of the movie, it actually has clips of them, like, the real people, like, playing the game, even when they're, like, 60 years old. Like,
that's funny.
Because, like, what they do is, like, they would, like, one time, one of them dressed up as, like, an old lady, and he was, like, she was, like, walking with this little walker, and then when she got up to the guy, he's like, gotcha. Like,
that's funny.
Yeah, so the movie was actually... it's like one of those things where you expect it to be really stupid. And it was honestly pretty good. Huh? Yeah, it surprised me.
That's good. As far as Christmas movies, I think I only watched these ones and Deck the Halls, which was not good.
Oh, is that the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No, it's Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick.
Oh, that one.
It's not great.
Nah.
But I have since it has been, a while since we did one of these episodes, I have a bunch of movies here. I'm not gonna take a lot of time on all of them, but I'll rattle them off. Mike let me borrow Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's my first time watching it. I wrote down that it's kind of silly, almost cartoonish at some points. You know what I mean? And I think I would have appreciated it more if I knew it as, a kid or whatever.
Yeah. But I think the best scene in that movie...
it was fine.
I think the best scene in that movie is when the guy, like, pulls out that sword and he's trying to have, like, a knife fight with Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford just looks at him, pulls out his gun, and shoots him.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part in that movie. Because what's funny is that he was originally in, like, the original script, they were actually supposed to have a knife fight, and Harrison Ford thought that was stupid. So he actually improvised that part of the movie. He just pulled out the gun and banged him.
That's funny.
Yeah, and they just like, George Lucas was like, Steven Spielberg was like, all right, that's better, and they kept it in the movie.
it's iconic. Let me see, what else? I watched Hachi, A Dog's Tale, because someone said... Well, a while back, I asked people on Facebook, what's a movie that made you cry or whatever? And this was one of them that someone commented. I thought it was okay. It didn't really make me cry. I sort of felt it at the end a little bit, but it's Richard Gere and a dog. It's fine. Let's see, I watched Straight Outta Compton. That was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it?
That's a good one, yeah. It's the story about NWA, right?
Yeah. Ice Cube and shit.
Yeah, and honestly...
Snoop Dogg, all them guys, Eazy-E.
Yeah, and all the people they got to play them, like, looked just like them when they were young. And I mean, Ice Cube's kid, looks just like him when he was that age. Like, it was wild. That's
actually one I watched on the plane when we were going to Hawaii. Okay. Another one was Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. It's that new one with fucking what's-his-face from SNL. The guy that everybody likes. Can't think of his name right now.
Is it Andy Samberg?
No, like recent SNL. King of Staten Island, that guy.
You're talking about Pete
Davidson.
Yeah,
that's what it was. I thought it kind of sucked. Not a good movie. I didn't really like it. But anyways, Lady Bird, which was the second time I've seen, and it's an absolute great movie. I will eventually pick that movie at some point, if we continue doing these.
Okay.
Made me cry a little. That's a crier. Then I watched The Upside with Kevin Hart and Bryan Cranston. I thought it was okay. It was fine. I watched The Comedian with what's his face? De Niro. It was okay. Not great.
I watched Analyze the first one. I don't know if it's Analyze This or Analyze That, but I watched the first one of those and I was like,
was that Billy Crystal?
Yeah, and Robert De Niro. It was actually pretty damn funny, man. I was like, I forgot.
I don't think I've ever seen it, but I remember my parents watching it.
I might pick it then. I might pick it for the podcast because it's a pretty damn funny movie.
Hell yeah. And then I watched The Whale, which was amazing.
Oh,
the new Brendan Fraser one. I saw it in theaters. Yeah. It was fucking It was great, dude. Very emotional. Like I wrote on my Facebook post, I was like, the fucking waterworks were flowing. Brendan Fraser's fantastic, but also, everybody else in that movie was pretty great. It's got, what's her face from Stranger Things, the redhead girl.
Oh, yeah.
Sadie Sink is her name.
Yeah.
She was great. Starlet. Oh, yeah, that was an interesting movie. It's from what was that? Sean Baker, the director, Sean Baker, who I really like. He did Red Rocket and shit. But I thought it was interesting, man. There was real sex in this movie.
Oh, shit.
Which is like, nobody does that, right? But they edited it very carefully, so it was like porn stars having sex, not the star in the movie or whatever.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
I read a little bit about it, dude. She had like a body double, and he said it was weird recording that day because he recorded all the all the sex scenes like at the beginning of the day, and then at the end, like they had to like edit her in somehow, but not actually have the sex, but just, I don't know, just for the different camera angles and shit.
It's called Red Rocket?
No, the Red Rocket was a different one with the Simon, what's his name? Simon Rex. That guy.
Not familiar.
That movie is fucking really good too. I picked it before on one of these episodes. And then, last but not least, I watched Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, shit. The first one is so good.
It is, but then it goes downhill.
Yeah.
It progressively gets worse each movie.
Yeah, like, the second one is good enough. It's just not, like... It's like most sequels, it just doesn't live up to the magic of the first one. Right. And then the third one, you're just like, why did you even make this movie?
I know, it was bad. I almost didn't make it all the way through.
I will say this, as far as like the Men in Black series goes, like obviously the first one is by far the best.
Yeah, we just did that one last time.
But the second one is super bad. Right?
Really?
Yeah.
But isn't the third one good? I think Mike said the
third one is actually, that was what was surprising. The third one was actually good. Which is weird because it has a time travel thing to it, and usually most movies that do time travel tend to fuck it up. Mm-hmm. It was actually done well, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Josh Brolin was in it or something.
Yeah, he plays young Agent K, and he actually kills it. He gets like
that's what Mike said.
Yeah, he gets all of
like
Tommy Lee's mannerisms down like perfectly.
Hell yeah, that's cool. But yeah, Rush Hour. Yeah, the first one is fucking great, dude. Like, it's so quotable and shit.
Yep.
Do you ever touch a black man's radio and, whoa, all the good shit. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? It's so quotable. Yeah, good stuff. Oh, and I did watch No Country for Old Men recently with Keith. And, me and Mike went to the theaters the other day to see The Fabelmans, which was pretty decent. You heard about that one?
No.
It's Steven Spielberg. It's loosely based on his life and shit growing up. Getting into filmmaking and shit.
Okay.
It's pretty interesting. Had Paul Dano in it and shit.
Dude,
right.
I want to see the Weird Al Yankovic movie.
I seen it, dude.
Oh, is it? Is it good?
It's fucking really good. Okay. It's so funny.
Where did you watch it at?
You have to watch it on Roku. The Roku channel.
Okay.
They have their own streaming service now.
All right.
Do you have a Roku? No. I could let you borrow one, actually, if you need to.
Okay,
Keith let me borrow it.
That'd be fucking dope. Yeah, man. I'll also bring it back next time.
Next time we do one of these?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah. All right, so let's get into these movies then. Which one do you want to do first?
We might as well get Scrooged out of the way first.
Okay.
I have feelings about this movie, and they're mostly not good ones. It's honestly, I would say it's the first movie I've watched where I really didn't like Bill Murray.
Yeah, he's supposed to be a Scrooge. So.
Yeah, well, I understand he's supposed to be an asshole, but for 90% of the movie, I just didn't even find him funny. He's just it's you're just a giant asshole. I mean, so for kudos to him, acting wise, because he really makes you hate him in that movie. That's probably I think the most ideal part of the movie. And honestly, I actually did find Bobcat Goldthwait fucking hilarious in that movie. I think like
I love that guy. Actually.
He's the funniest part of that movie, man. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Just a little side note. Have you ever seen the movie where he plays a clown?
Yeah, Shakes the Clown.
Shakes the Clown. Okay. I was like, man, I might pick
that.
I
saw it once.
If we do like a comedy like theme, I might end up picking that one.
Yeah, Adam Sandler's in that one, just like a little bit,
and so is the dude that's like in all of Adam Sandler's movies too. Yeah.
The Coach Buzzer guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, Scrooged is 1998 fantasy comedy. Let's see, we got some tomato scores. 69 on the tomato meter, which I feel is high, and the audience score is 71. It seems a little high, right?
Well, I think
in its day, maybe it was better.
Well, I think because it's a Bill Murray film, it carries more weight. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But honestly, even for like a Bill Murray film, I feel like it's one of his lesser ones. Like it's really not one of my favorites for him. And honestly, I don't even think the way it approaches the story. I honestly think they're just better versions of that story. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think, honestly, I think the fucking Muppet Christmas Carol is probably like I'm just going to say it out. Like, that's the best version of that story.
Yeah.
Like, in, like, seeing that and, like, comparing it to, like, other ones I've seen, even, like, the Disney, like, Mickey Mouse version.
Yeah.
Like, they're
Scrooge
just...
McDuck.
Yeah, they're just better versions of it. And so, like... This one is kind of like...
I think Beavis and Butthead had a version, too.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. And I feel like it's
I think everybody has.
I don't know, it's just like... The whole time I was watching it, it just felt like something was missing, you know what I mean? Like, it just like felt like there was like a chemistry problem with that film.
Yeah, maybe. I like the what's her name? Karen Allen? She was great. She's pretty. The the love interest, who's also in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, no, she's great. I think her and Goldcat are probably like the highlights of the movie. Honestly, like I think they kind of sell it the most, especially when Goldcat is chasing him around with a shotgun. That part cracks me up so much. That was one of the best parts of that movie.
Yeah. All right, director Richard Donner. You got music in there by Danny Elfman. That's fun. Let me see if I got a tagline. I like to throw out the taglines. Bill Murray is back among the ghosts. Only this time, it's 3 against 1.
Even the tagline sucks.
One more. The spirits will move you in an odd and hysterical ways. I fucked that one up. It wasn't good anyways.
Nah. Oh, man. And that's kind of like 2 of the ghosts I really liked. But the Ghost of Christmas Present was like nails on a chalkboard. I could not stand her character.
Oh, yeah.
She looked like a ballerina with angel wings on.
Yeah.
Or butterfly wings, I mean. But yeah, she was... nails on the chalkboard. I was like, you should have been fired from this production. This is bad.
Yeah, this is my pick. I have never seen it. I don't know why I picked it. I just thought Bill Murray Christmas movie.
I totally get why you picked it. I was actually excited to watch this movie until I actually watched it.
I know, right? I felt the same way. I was like, and like. We started it one night, me and Sarah, and like we didn't finish it, and then I had to go back and like rewatch it, and I was like, ugh. But I made it through.
A lot of it was kind of cringeworthy, right? Like it was just like, man, like a lot of this is just not sticking the landing. Mm-hmm. And it's just like kind of a bit over the top for no reason.
Yeah. One thing I noticed in this movie, I recognized a dog in this movie, which doesn't happen often. But it was only a quick, short scene, but it's Buck from Married with Children.
No shit.
He was in there, right?
No shit. That's a good call out.
I know. I was like, oh, shit. I know that dog. I watched Married with Children fucking growing up my whole life.
Oh, yeah. Same, man. That's a great show.
It's so good. So funny. And I also noticed Kathy Kinney in there, which is Mimi from the Drew Carey Show.
No kidding.
Yeah, she did a small part in there. Not bad. But yeah, if you don't know, it's obviously the Scrooge story, the Christmas Carol.
Yep,
right?
Christmas Carol story. Yeah.
So he gets visited by 3 ghosts, and he learns the error of his ways, and not to be like he fires Bobcat Goldthwait like right off the bat in that movie. And then he just like progressively gets worse, more and more angry throughout the movie.
Yep.
And then he finally comes back with a shotgun at the end to try to get him. I don't know what else to say about this movie, man. What do you got? Anything?
Not really, man, because if I keep talking about it, I'm just going to keep shitting on it. Like, trashing. Yeah, and I don't want to do that because I love Bill Murray. I think it's just the fault of...
What's your favorite Bill Murray movie?
Oh, man.
It's hard to say, but Groundhog Day is pretty damn great.
Yeah, that one's great. I mean, he's got such a good catalog, like Ghostbusters, fucking...
that I haven't seen since I was a child.
Oh, it's so good. And, I mean, fucking Caddyshack, he's great in. Like, he's got so many.
Dude, Kingpin, bro.
Yeah, Kingpin, he's great in. Fucking
Ernie McCracken.
Honestly, one of my favorite movies he's in. I don't think I have a favorite because I like most of the stuff he does. But one of the newer movies that I really, really like because it's really tongue-in-cheek and super dry humor. But it's The Dead Don't Die. I think that movie's fucking hilarious.
I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Oh, I'm gonna have to make you watch that then on one of these. It's gonna have to be one of my picks. Me and my sister love that movie. Like there's a bunch of ongoing like running.
Oh, it's got Adam Driver.
Yeah. He's really funny in it too, because like his delivery is so deadpan. Like in it, they kind of break the fourth wall a lot in it. So it's like that kind of movie.
Right on.
Yeah, it's really funny. If like I think you would appreciate it because I think you are like into like dry humor like I am.
Yeah,
like you kind of appreciate like all kinds of comedy.
Hell yeah.
But there's a line that Adam Driver keeps saying in the movie, and this is all going to end badly. And at one point, Bill Murray just looks at him. He's like, how do you know that?
You got Tilda Swinton in there.
Yep, she's
Danny Glover. Steve Buscemi. Selena Gomez. All right. Iggy Pop. Coffee Zombie #1.
Yep, Iggy Pop plays a zombie, yep.
Cool. Yeah, I might have to look into that one. But yeah, Scrooge McDouche.
That's a good way to put it. Scrooge McDouche, yeah.
I mean, what would you rank it then if you got nothing else to say about it? 1 out of 10.
I mean, I don't think it's like bad enough to give it a 1. Like, it's not the worst movie I've ever seen. I just think there are better. It's done better in other versions. I'd give it like a 4 out of 10. Like, honestly,
that's probably about where I'm at. Maybe, yeah. That 4 out of 10 sounds right.
Because I mean, there are moments in it that are like really funny. It was surprising to me that most of those funny moments don't come from Bill Murray. Like, a lot of them are from, like, minor characters like Goldcat. Like, all the stuff, like, with him is pretty damn funny. Like, there's a couple of scenes where Bill made me chuckle in that movie, but for the most part, he just, like, his delivery's so over the top. It's just kind of like, this kind of sucks, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so that's that one then. Shit. In and out with that movie. Don't have a whole lot to say. Like I said, I didn't write down a whole lot of notes.
Yeah, it's
just because I didn't know what to say.
It's honestly not a movie I would recommend to people.
Yeah, I probably won't be watching that again.
Yup.
We got another beer in there if you want one.
Oh shit!
It's up to you.
I think I might have to.
All right, we'll take a quick pause and we'll grab a round.
All right, I'll grab them.
Cool.
Boilermakers. We're back after a quick commercial break.
Yeah, now we're back. Hope you enjoyed those dick pill ads. Yeah. So the second movie we're talking about today is Batman Returns. Which I would argue is not really a Christmas movie.
No, I would agree with that. It takes place around Christmas time, but
right?
It's not really a Christmas movie. No.
Mike insisted that it was. You hear that, Mike? You're in the wrong.
You're kind of wrong on this one. I mean, like, it's like I would consent to saying that it takes place around Christmas time, but I would not call it a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's not about Christmas, you know.
The only movie like that I give it up for is Die Hard. I was like, that's the only one I'm like, okay, I'll give it to people that's a Christmas movie.
I believe there's a clip out there of Bruce Willis saying that it's not a Christmas movie, though. I'm pretty sure that we could give that a goog. Batman Returns, 1992, action fantasy. It's the Tim Burton, one of the Tim Burton Batmans. Danny Elfman again on the music.
Yeah. I mean, that Batman intro that he does was so good that they used it for the animated series. It's kind of awesome.
Hell yeah.
Like I mean, obviously I watched these movies growing up, so there's a lot of nostalgia for me, but there's just things that, especially comparing them to modern superhero movies.
Yeah, so people know you are a fan of the superhero genre.
Yeah. I mean, I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm kind of gotten burned out on it now, just because they've been doing those movies
and they've just been pumping them out like crazy.
Pretty much ever since the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies, like, that genre has become so popular. Like, people. I
remember liking it back then. Whenever the first Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Spider-Man
and
2,
that's
maybe.
so people credit Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man movie for exploding the superhero genre, but I would argue it's actually the Tobey Maguire movies, and then to another extent, I would say that Tim Burton and Michael Keaton with the Batman movies kind of like really push that genre into a new envelope. It's just that, like, there was a bunch of superhero movies that people forget about in the 90s that were so bad, they kind of like, that genre really took a hit. Well, I mean, the fucking Joel Schumacher Batman movies they're fun to watch because of how bad they are, but
I'm not sure which ones those are.
It's Batman Forever and Batman and Robin.
With the
George Clooney and Val Kilmer. Okay. They're bad. Okay. They're bad movies. But I would say, like, Tim Burton kind of really made superhero movies possible. But he kind of did what Christopher Nolan did before Christopher Nolan, where he, like, made the Batman movies even though there are things about them that are like,
to a different like a new level.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, this is a fantasy, but they're still really grounded though. It's like, this is all still kind of shit that could really happen if somebody was twisted or crazy enough, you know what I mean? There's nothing that like happens in those movies that are like, it's too out of reality. And that's kind of the other thing, is I forgot how dark that movie is.
Dark,
like, yeah, I was like, especially like Danny DeVito's Penguin. I was like,
that's one of my notes. One of my notes is Danny DeVito was the best in the. He was the most fun to watch in this movie.
Yeah, he steals every scene he's in. He's awesome. He's great. Such a good villain.
He's the one I believe the most out of all of them.
Right.
You know what I mean, and he played that Penguin so perfectly. Bro.
Yeah, and I think like because and it's kind of the same thing in the first Batman movie when Jack Nicklaus is playing the Joker. He kind of steals every scene he's in, like. So like, but it's like, yeah, Danny. I forgot.
I watched that one not too long ago.
But Danny DeVito is fucking awesome as the Penguin.
He's so good.
And honestly, Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, that's one of my favorite scenes in the movie, is when she blows up that building and she like comes flipping along and she just stops and she goes, meow, and then the whole building just blows up. I was just like, fuck, what an entrance, man.
Hell yeah. Let's see what we got for tomato scores. We got an 81% tomato meter. Pretty good. Pretty good. And the audience score is 73%. So it's a pretty well-liked movie. Everybody likes this movie.
Yeah.
Probably not everybody, but I'm sure you can find some...
some haters or people that are like, the Christopher...
Some reviews. It is fun to... Sometimes me and Mike used to, like, pull some critic reviews or whatever. Some of the fun ones that, you know, people hating on it and shit are kind of fun ones.
Yeah.
But I just didn't have time to do all that this week. But, yeah, we'll get those.
Gonna pull those up, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Let me see see if we got some taglines for this one. Damn, that's a long tagline. From the sewers of Gotham, a new villain emerges. From the rooftops of Gotham, the perfect enemy comes to life. And the only one who can save the city is a creature of the night. That's too much.
Yeah.
Cut it out with that.
Yeah.
There's some other ones. Let's see. While she craves a romance she can sink her claws into, he plots a foul reign of destruction.
Too much. Too much.
The bat, the cat, the penguin. That's one of them.
I will say that is my only criticism of this movie is that, like, there are so many characters in it. It kind of gets a bit busy. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of felt like I love Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
But I feel like his character is a little bit unnecessary after a certain point. Like, cause like once Penguin got like popular and stuff, he literally could have just killed him off. Like, and the story wouldn't have really been that much different. Like, I mean, you wouldn't have got like that hype moment at the end where Michelle Pfeiffer, sorry, spoilers, kills
That's what
him.
We do. We spoil movies on this podcast. So,
but you wouldn't get that like cool moment where Michelle Pfeiffer kills him. But at the same time, it's like his character doesn't really move the plot forward at all. After like the beginning of the movie, so his character is kind of unnecessary. There's just kind of like some stuff like that. That's kind of my only real criticism of the movie. Is there's sometimes too much going on in the story.
One of my notes I wrote down is Christopher Walken's name is Max Shrek.
Terrible name too.
His name is Shrek, bro. Donkey. Anyway, I don't even remember these notes I wrote down, but let's see. Compared to the newer movies, it's pretty cheesy, which was expected.
Yeah, I will say, I think it is a product of its time.
It's a different class of movies than what's been.
Yeah, it's a product of its time.
Nolan's
so it's kind of like if you go back and watch the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, it's like they're good, but they're products of their time, so they're cheesy.
Yeah.
Like the fight choreography is kind of silly, like stuff like that.
Special effects and.
Well, see, that's the one thing I feel that's like not as dated with this movie is because it's mostly practical effects, so like you don't get like overwhelmed with a shit ton of CGI.
Right.
Like that is kind of my big gripe with.
I'll try to remember it because it has been a few weeks since I've seen it, but don't they use like models and shit like that?
Yeah, they blow up models. Yeah, so it looks. Yeah, so it looks more realistic. Yeah.
But yeah,
and I think that's kind of my big gripe with a lot of superhero movies now is they just overuse CGI. There's no like real like fight choreography. You just see two big fucking.
The actors are just acting.
They're just in mocap. Yeah,
big green screen and
yeah, yeah. It's just there's no.
That must be a weird fucking way to act. You know?
Yeah,
it's got to be hard.
I mean, it's hard in the
really
sense
gotta
where
use your
like
imagination.
Yeah. But it's also like, you know, they're just taking steroids and getting jacked as fuck. And then they're just, you know, in these silly fucking, basically cartoon movies that, like, they're just green screening with mocap shit on. Like, yeah.
You can absolutely tell that this is a Tim Burton movie.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The whole aesthetic, you can... And especially with the music and everything, it screams Tim Burton.
Well, that was actually one of the things I noted is some of the jingles that are in Batman Returns. I swear to God, if you go and watch The Nightmare Before Christmas, those jingles are in The Nightmare Before Christmas. And I mean, I know it's the same composer Danny Elfman. And some people will be like, oh, well, it's just because it sounds like his work sounds similar because he has like such a distinct sound. But I would say no. Like, it's literally like there are shit that I heard in that, like, in the background. I was like, wait a minute. That's a jingle from fucking Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, these straight, like, ripped some of this music out and, like, reused it.
Maybe.
Like, I swear they did.
Danny DeVito kills it.
Yeah, he is seriously the best part of the whole movie. Like, he's fucking creepy, and like every time he shows up in a scene, he fucking puts you on edge. Like
he's compelling.
Yeah, it's just like, I think he really is. People kind of like remember him now because he's been on It's Sunny in Philadelphia for so long, and I mean, he's fucking hilarious. But I think people forget like what a good fucking actor Danny DeVito is.
Dude,
like,
he was in fucking, what's it called? One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, bro.
Yep.
That classic fucking movie.
Yep.
Plus, I don't know, what else has he got? Deck the Halls, which I talked about earlier.
Terrible movie. He's in a movie with
Throw Mama from the Train. Have you ever seen that one with him and Billy Crystal?
No. He's in a movie called Scrooged. It's got Norm Macdonald and Dave Chappelle in it. He plays a mortician. He's fucking hilarious in it.
Oh, he's got a couple movies with Schwarzenegger, right?
Yeah, Twins. Yeah,
Twins. That just came on Netflix, dude. I'm gonna watch that. Remind me what the origin story to the Catwoman was, because I'm trying to remember. But I thought it was silly.
Yeah, it's. I think that like something like it's that
what
kind of stuff.
What actually happened?
So it's not really explained, but Max Shrek throws her out of a window, and seemingly she is gifted the power of a cat with so like the old saying, cats have 9 lives. So basically, like,
oh yeah,
like the fucking alley cats, like, by their powers, they swarm her and she gets resurrected somehow. Like that, that's the part of the movie that makes no fucking sense.
It was silly,
yeah. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, I think she's fucking awesome as Catwoman. She looks amazing, and her she literally they had to they had to sew that outfit onto her because it was so tight. So when she had to go to the bathroom, they literally had to cut it off of her. Like,
wow.
She while they were filming, she could not go to the bathroom in that outfit. It was so fucking tight on her. So mad respect to Michelle Pfeiffer for putting up with that for that role.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, she looks fucking amazing. She's hot as fuck. She is kind of like that has that perfect femme fatale thing going on where she's super hot, but she she's a crazy bitch and she might just gut you she plays that up so perfectly. And I think
the hotness to craziness scale,
and she plays it up really well. And I think as far as what we've seen in that character and future renditions of her, it's just not done that well. I mean, it is
Halle Berry.
It's so terrible. I mean, even in Christopher Nolan, even in the newest Batman movie, I don't think Catwoman is done.
Zoe Kravitz?
I mean, she looks good. Her character is fine, but she just doesn't really sell it like Michelle Pfeiffer does in this movie. And it's just unfortunate that her backstory is so fucking silly because once she becomes Catwoman, she's amazing in the movie.
Hell yeah.
And I honestly, I do think, as much as I like, what's his fucking name? He plays Batman.
Keaton.
As much as I like Michael Keaton, I think he's a great actor. He's really outshone in this movie by Michelle Pfeiffer and Danny DeVito. Yeah.
I know. I love Keaton too, man. Multiplicity.
Yeah, I mean, fucking Birdman. He's a fucking.
I saw that once, dude. I need to revisit that.
He's a great actor, man.
Mom. Did you watch Founder, the McDonald's movie?
It's on my list. I want to. I literally only want to watch it because he's in it.
He's a shitty guy in that movie, but it's a decent watch.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think. And Christopher Walken, it's not that he's bad in the movie. It's just if his character, I don't know. To me, his character, after watching it this time, just kind of feels so out of place, like especially with like all the other things going on. It's like he's basically just like a corporate scumbag, you know what I mean? Like he's exactly what you would expect out of like a CEO of a huge company. It's like he's scumbag. His company dumps medical waste into fucking water reservoirs, which that shit happens in real life. It's like he's probably killed some people to like keep some secrets. Like that's like pretty real life shit, but compared to like everything else going on, it's it's kind of, I don't know. I don't feel like he fits into the story all that well. I think it's just because Christopher Walken is such a big draw. He kind of
think someone else could have done it better. What do you think?
I don't.
Who would you cast?
I don't think that someone could have done it better. I think they could have just used somebody less well known for that role, and then use that character less, because then it wouldn't have taken away from other events going on at the same time. I agree with you that it's a dated movie and there are things that are silly and cartoonish about it, and I think I think it's part of that too is just Tim Burton's aesthetic is kind of cartoonish and like silly at times. But I also think
that going in, and you got to sort of suspend some disbelief or whatever.
Yeah. But I also think that it suffers from what a lot of like movies in that genre suffer from, where they try and pack too much into one movie, and it gets a little bit
muddled.
Is
that the right word?
Yeah, it gets the story gets muddled because there's too much going on. I think that is kind of what makes the first movie superior. It's just as far as like the story, because it's much more linear, and so it makes more sense. Like I totally get Selena Kyle, Catwoman, wanting to kill Max. He's a fucking piece of shit that tried to kill her. I get that, but like a lot of her other motivation just doesn't really seem to make a whole lot of sense to me. Like, as much as I think what she's given, she does a good job with, her character just kind of, it's a little, you know what I mean? It's confusing. It's just like her motivation is confusing. Like, I know in the comic book, Catwoman kind of fluctuates between being an anti-hero and a villain to Batman. Like, sometimes she helps him, sometimes.
She's always on the fence like a cat.
But that's mostly due to her being a thief and like having, she's kind of greedy. Like she likes nice things and she wants to live the nice life, and so she steals shit. So like in that context, her character makes sense. But in this movie, like there's a lot of stuff that doesn't really make sense about her character. But there is one scene with Danny DeVito, I was like, yeah, I totally get that, where he's like, all right, now let's consummate our evil, and she's like, what? I would never let you touch me. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. He's pretty fucking disgusting. And you literally just watched him murder an innocent woman just to make Batman look bad. Like,
whatever they did to like dress him up in this movie was fucking gnarly. He had like the nose and the teeth were all dark.
Yeah,
just the whole fucking
his costume design was fucking great.
Hands and shit.
His costume design was so great. It's like the most.
He had that stringy fucking hair and shit.
Like it literally could have left they could have cut Catwoman and Max out of the movie, and it would have still been a great fucking movie. Just having like pink. I think that's kind of like, I guess what I'm getting at is like there's so much that could have been cut out of the movie, and it would have been a more linear movie, and it still would have been a really good movie. Because fucking Danny DeVito, man, he
nails it, bro. He nails the part. Let's see what else I got in here. Oh, there's like a thing. He says, stop global warming and start global cooling, which is relevant today. He says, just the pussy I've been looking for. I thought that was a wild line to put in this movie.
Yeah.
What else I got? Catwoman licked Batman's face. Then he licked also.
Question mark?
I'm trying to remember, because I don't remember. I should have like rewatched it or something, but then I could back up my notes, some of these notes that I wrote down.
Well, it's their first encounter when they fight. because she's kind of into him, but she also is, he's not willing to be like her. So she licks his face and then she stabs him. And then he throws her off a building.
Something about a record scratch had me laughing. I don't know.
Oh, I think that's Penguin. I think Penguin does that. Like he
does
when
a record scratch.
Yeah, he like Max is trying to talk and he comes in and he like starts like fucking the record up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the scene with the Penguin.
Let's see. I wrote down it's aimed more for children, right? And the kids that were into this are probably some of the same kids that are into the newer ones today. You know?
I wouldn't disagree with that, man. Especially, but I think it's aimed towards kids. But when you kind of look at how dark the movie actually is, that's kind of the thing about Burton movies is like I was like, okay, I see the intent is like aimed between like kids that are probably between like 8 to 13. You know what I mean? I would say that's probably the age group for these movies. But some of the shit in there, I was like, man, this is...
I remember watching this as a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, this
and then
was
now that I'm watching...
1992.
Yeah, and I was like, now that I'm like older, I was like, maybe I shouldn't have been watching this as a kid. Like, honestly.
I think we got away with watching a lot of shit as kids, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, good times.
I would say it's definitely dated.
Yeah.
I think people kind of put the Christopher Nolan Batman movies over these ones just because, one, they're more current. They feel more like in our present day world.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think the dialogue in the Tim Burton movies is actually better. Like, I think the Nolan Batman movies kind of suffer the same fate as...
I don't think I've ever seen the first Nolan one. What was
Begins? Batman Begins. So the main villain is Ra's al Ghul.
Scarecrow, right? No?
It is Scarecrow, but it's actually Ra's al Ghul.
Which is played by... I've never seen that one.
It's played by what's his name? It's a dude that does Liam Neeson. So it's played by he's played by Liam Neeson. But I was gonna say the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises kind of suffer the same problems that Tim Burton movies do, is where the actors that play the villains kind of steal the show. But
Heath Ledger.
Yeah, but I would say that the lesser characters in the Batman movies, their lines in Tim Burton's movie anyway, I think their lines are a little smoother and delivered better. Whereas, like, I noticed about the Nolan movies is some of the line delivery in those movies, like, that isn't from the main cast, is really fucking bad. I was like, that's kind of something I realized. I was like, I don't think Christopher Nolan writes dialogue very well. Like, I don't think his dialogue is very believable. I think in these movies, like, the chemistry between actors is much better. It's kind of like that's right. As like going and revisiting it, I was just like, damn. I was like, from like a technical standpoint, I see why people like, the newer movies better. But from like, as far as the acting, because they didn't have the same level of budget and production design and costume design, all that kind of stuff is like present day movies do. They don't have that kind of budget for these movies. So to do what they did, but then like have the fucking quality of actors that they did and then the performances that they did, I think kind of puts that a bit over from current day. Because I kind of think Martin Scorsese's kind of right. He's like, superhero movies.
Where he talks shit about superhero movies?
They're not real movies. It's just actors. I think I agree
Quentin Tarantino did the same thing too.
It's like,
he said like there's not the people who play the movies, they're not the stars. Iron Man's the star, it's not Robert Downey Jr., it's Iron Man who's the star.
Right.
And, yeah, with all of them, Captain America's the star, that shit.
Yeah, and I mean, he's not necessarily wrong either.
But yeah, that is... I don't know, man. It's hard for me to get into those movies.
And you know what?
But feel free to pick them if you want. Like I told Mike, he picked like Iron Man once, and then I don't know if he picked any other ones. But
honestly, most of those movies, I think my thing with them is I think they're fun watches, but there's very few of them that I want to watch more than once. You know what I mean? Like I enjoy them for like the first time, but it's not like there are. I'm really kind of...
They all kind of seem the same,
Yeah.
in a lot of ways.
Well, and especially especially the newer ones, because they found this formula that makes them a shit ton of money, and they just follow that. And that's it's something I can at least respect about Burton is like he clearly followed his own vision, because his movies, like, they're not like current day superhero movies. They're very different. They're cheesy, sure, but at least it's his kind of own stamp on the genre, and it's like he was very like true to like what he wanted to present. And I think I kind of like,
I was at the we were at the movies yesterday, and we saw like the preview for the new Ant-Man. And I was like, "Oh, here we go again."
Yeah, no, I'm actually to the point now where I'm with you. Like, I don't even know.
Are you an Ant-Man fan?
No, man. I love Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd's great. I love him as an actor.
That's honestly kind of the only reason why I watched those first two movies anyway, just because I like Paul Rudd. Like, I mean, our idiot brother, I fucking love that movie.
Dude, I just watched that for the first time maybe a month ago.
I love that movie.
It was so good. He's the best version of Paul Rudd that you would want in a movie. Like he's like a hippie, and he's like he loves everybody, He's just trying to spread love and shit, you know what I mean?
But he doesn't always like.
He kind of screws up.
He screws up, but
he has good intentions.
Yeah, he's always trying to do the right thing, though. Like,
yeah. And Zoe Deschanel in that movie, and Rashida Jones, some hot chicks in that movie.
Also, I don't know her name, but she's been in a ton of comedy movies. Like she's she plays the bitchy sister with like bob cut.
Elizabeth Banks, is that her?
Yeah, Elizabeth Banks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. She was Paul Rudd's girlfriend in Role Models. I forgot. Yeah. Shit.
Role Models, classic. All right, so Batman, a lot of cheesy, but I did try to put myself in the state of mind to watch this movie, and I think I did pretty good because I did enjoy it. Where do you stand if you give it a rating? 1 out of 10.
So like I'm kind of still on the standpoint. I do feel that the first movie is better. There are just things about this movie that I mentioned. So I would say I do enjoy it. I do think it's a good movie. I would recommend people watch it. I would give it a 7 out of 10, man. I think it's a fucking solid movie, and especially being a sequel to a superhero movie, like, and being done well. I think 7 out of 10 is a pretty fair rating for this.
I'm around there too. I'd say maybe 6 for me.
Sure. And there's a little more nostalgia for me because I grew up. I grew up on these movies, so
of course. I mean, I was into that shit when I was young,
Yeah.
I was into that shit, but I fell off really early, and I feel like everybody kept going with all the comic book shit.
Well, it's like I was trying to say now is like it's become too much. Like I'm kind of with you. I'm pretty over it. Like I'm going forward. Like after like I think it's the last Marvel movie I watched. I was like, you know what, this shit is tired. I'm not watching these movies anymore.
Well, it gets to be, enough at certain point.
Yeah, it's just the same shit over and over again. Like.
So, we've come to the end of our show, where we each pick 2 more movies. Well, we each pick another movie for the next time. You want to go first, or should I?
Yeah, I'll go first. So, you were talking about movies that make you cry, and
some of the best movies.
I'm gonna be very surprised if this movie doesn't at least hit you in the feels. Even though I know you don't like anime, it is a like anime movie, but it's not like what a lot of animes represent, like superhero fights, dragon, like shit like that. It's a very like slice of life movie where its premise is focused around the relationship of two high schoolers. One is a boy and the other is a deaf girl. And the boy used to bully the deaf girl, but they eventually become friends because he's like realize what an asshole he is. And the movie's called Silent Voice. It's a fucking great Silent Voice. It's a fucking great movie.
Is that streaming anywhere, or do you
It's
know?
on Netflix, yeah.
Oh, it's on
yeah,
Netflix.
It's really accessible. And like I said, you can watch the dub on this one. So, but it's honestly it's one of my I love the movie. I think it's great. People
know I'm not a anime guy. Drew's starting off with a fucking hard punching anime choice. That's cool. It doesn't bother me. I am interested.
I might surprise you. You might really like it.
Maybe. That's the point of these movies, is to, show each other the things we enjoy, and see how the other person, see what their opinions are of it. Anyways, well, I mean, you already knew my pick because I mentioned it earlier, but you don't know the movie.
Yeah, give me a little background on it. Yeah, I've never heard of it.
The movie. Yeah. So my movie is another Sean Baker. If you remember from back, I chose Red Rocket a while back because Sean Baker, this director, man, he makes movies that feel real as hell, bro. Like he uses non-actors to make it, to make it feel more real and shit. Like Red Rocket, it's one of my favorite movies. But this one, yeah, it has Willem Dafoe in it. Who you like Willem Dafoe?
I love Willem Dafoe. Yeah, he's great in everything, man.
But he's like basically the only name actor. Everybody else is, I believe, like non-actors. It's basically about this motel. He runs the motel, and it's near like Disney World or whatever. But it's like a rundown old place, and it's got like these, hard up people, drugs, and I don't know. I've only seen it once. I don't remember everything, all the details, but it follows like these young kids and their little group of misfits, and they just fuck around, but the ending did make me cry, and I want to revisit it and see if I like it more, like it less,
Sure, yeah.
But Sean Baker, dude, that dude's great, and I've been looking into all of his movies ever since I saw Red Rocket, and this one I really enjoyed. So I hope you like it too. It's called The Florida Project.
Okay.
And now, Willem Dafoe, man. He's the man.
All right.
So we'll watch those, and we'll be back in a couple weeks to review them.
I mean, sure, we can do it. We can do it next week if you want. I'm down.
I'm down too.
All right, let's go.
It's always good to get them, banked. But let me see. I don't think it's streaming, but I was doing this thing with Mike, where I would rent the movie on Vudu, and then I would give him my sign-in so he could watch it too. If you don't want to spend the money to rent it,
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah, let me see if it's... Oh, it's on Showtime. I don't have Showtime, though. Do you subscribe to Showtime?
No, but I'll tell you what I'll do. What I do is, because usually that kind of shit's on Prime, so I'll just subscribe to it for that week, and then I just cancel it before I have to pay for it. Because they usually give you like a free week subscription.
Yeah, to Showtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably rent it. Do you fuck with Vudu at all?
Everybody tells me to use it, but
I prefer to spend the money there instead of Amazon.
Sure. I should probably hop on that then,
But
I know you were telling me about it, and then I think someone else told me about Vudu and said it was really good for if you just like watching movies.
Yeah, if you're gonna rent a movie, I prefer that one. But if I do, if I rent it, I'll let you know, and I'll send you my sign-in info if you want.
Okay, yeah,
we'll figure that out. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah.
Hope you like this episode.
Been a pleasure, yeah.
With our new co-host, Drew. Come on, how did he do? Let us know in the comments. Rate, subscribe, all the bullshit.
Do it all. We want your feedback so we can be better.
Hell yeah. I think it went well.
Yeah, no, it's fun, man. I fucking love talking about movies, man.
Hell yeah, bro. And we're right about at the hour mark. So, signing off. Peace out. Love,
later,
peace,
everybody.
And chicken grease. Hope you enjoyed those dick pill ads.